Hello and welcome everyone. This time I'll be combining two very similar missions into one hunt. A chance encounter will bring me back to where it all began in search of a couple coyotes. These ended up in my mission log at the same time, and since they were so similar, I decided to try and stack them up. If you're here in search of a guide for one or the other, the following strategies will work for both. With Vualez A Silent Hunt, I need to travel to Balmont and harvest 2 coyotes down with a bow. For Dock 19, I simply need to harvest a male and female coyote down with a bow. So, to do both at the same time, I'll have to shoot a male and a female coyote in Balmont with a bow. Dock 19 has no location requirements, and the coyotes don't have a home range, so this mission can be done anywhere on the map. A silent hunt, however, requires that the harvest be made in Balmont, so I'll be searching within the highlighted area. This isn't much of a restriction though, since it covers such a broad region. Coyotes aren't hard to find in Layton, but they are one of the hardest to hunt. They're a predator, so their highly tuned vision and sense of smell makes it hard to get in close with a bow. I'll certainly bring the jackrabbit collar with me as well, but since it brings in lower level animals more easily, and the males tend to be higher, I'll try to shoot a male first, then call in a female if I need to. The 300 grain arrows will do the trick with integrity, but only have a 10 penetration, while the 420 grain also covers Class 2 animals, but with a penetration of 50, so I plan to use those instead. The best thing about hunting with a bow is that it won't scare away the whole pack like firearms do, so I may get my chance to pick off 2 animals at the same time. Naturally, finding animals in their drink zones is the first strategy that comes to mind. But the drink time is in the middle of the night, and I like to avoid night hunting if at all possible. I already have a few rest zones scattered out during the daylight hours, so I plan to check them first to see what I find. Since the earliest of the 2 zones was 7 o'clock, I set the time and headed out. But about halfway there, I caught a coyote mating call. She was calm and traveling. As good old Uncle Steve says, you don't leave fish to find fish, so I circled around to see where they were headed. I spotted them again, headed southeast through the swamps. There was a male and a female as well, so my interest was piqued even more. From there, I began to pursue them across the map. I kept a low profile as I followed their tracks, hoping not to spook them when they reached their intended zone. I guessed that they were headed to a nearby rest zone on the side of the hill, but after a closer look, I discovered they weren't there. I picked up the trail again and followed them south, passing by the lookout tower. The trail finally ended when I heard them fleeing near the southern coast. And there I finally found their rest zone, just out of sight of the dock where I began the missions here in Layton. There were 5 animals in the pack, so odds were good I'd have a chance to get 2 at once. I got a little cherry on top as well, as I spooked a female while I was there who went sprinting by. Satisfied that this was the place to hunt, I set up a tent for a respawn point and reset the time. I won't lie to you and say this was an easy one and done for me, because it wasn't. While resisting the urge to smoke a couple of rabbits during my failed attempts, I learned that the pack comes into the zone late and seemingly from a northwesterly direction. Now armed with my recon knowledge, when the time came, I was ready. The wind was blowing to the south, so I found a place to watch for their approach on the edge of the field. Turns out it's a busy time with animals passing by. I patiently watched by a tree, waiting for the pack to go by. A mating call to the northwest signaled their arrival. And there they are. Out in front was 2 level 5 males, which I watched closely as they passed by. After them was a group of 3 females. Once they all more or less traveled into the zone, I crawled my way across the field. This tree is a little over 40 meters away and a perfect distance for the bow. With a female to the right and a couple males to the left, I decided the time had come. He's down. Where's the female? And she's down too. Perfect. Let's take a look. You don't see that every day. The first one was a silver level 5 male, scoring an even 46 points. I got him in the right lung at 44 meters, dropping him where he sat. The second shot was a silver as well, scoring 38.43 and a nice harvest for a female. The fatal shot got her in the lung, stomach, and liver at 43 meters. With this harvest, I now had 2 coyotes, a male and a female, in Balmont with a bow, and completed the objectives for both missions at the same time.
Great shooting. This should keep Hope satisfied. For a while, at least.
Combining these together brought me a buttload of points and brings me to the last chapter for both the Vualez story missions and the Doc 10 through 20 missions as well. These types of hunts can be a challenge, so I'm glad to have knocked them both out at the same time. If this video was helpful or you learned something along the way, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll be adding more of these guides as I go along with my progression, so be sure to check in for more Call of the Wild content. Thanks for watching.